Next up on the menu, we have the grocery store epidemic. There's been a lot of epidemics recently. There's been a lot of epidemics that's been plaguing us as of 2025 to 2026. And we are just going to be talking about the grocery store one. Apparently there is a grocery store one. I don't really know what he's talking about here, so we're going to get enlightened. Let's get a bite of the video really quick. Talk to me.
Don't you love coming home from the grocery store just to look in your cabinet and ask yourself, what did I even buy? Why does it feel like I'm spending more than ever, but bringing home less? This has to be one of the general experiences for most of us. I can't be the only one, right guys? Like, I genuinely go out of my way to shop at cheaper food stores just to save a little money. Like, Walmart's not even cheap for me enough anymore. Like, give me that Aldi, please. And I am not afraid to admit it, I qualify for food banks and I still do. And what I hate even more has to be the fact that unhealthy foods like zebra cakes cost $3.19, but if I wanted some fresh
some chicken breasts, we're gonna be run you 13, 10 bucks. You could get a fucking whole slab of Debbie cakes for like $5 though. It's very, very disgusting, very sick shit. Your two options are you live a healthier lifestyle, which isn't too bad, because then if you know how to cook, you could use lentils to your advantage and shit like that, but not everybody knows how to cook, so that's just not an option for most people. So the Debbie cakes are going to be what they gravitate towards if they want the most bang for their buck, and they're not going to go for something like this because they'd rather just have more food rather than healthy feeling food. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's try $13. How did we even get here, and who let it get this bad? Like I usually say, this will be a long one, so grab a snack or listen to me while you poo, and yeah, enjoy. Chapter 1, the grocery bill shock. You know what's crazy? Growing up, I remember hearing adults complain about grocery prices. My parents would walk out of a store, look at the receipt and say, man, these groceries are getting expensive. And as a kid, I thought, yeah, okay, Dad, it can't be that bad. Well, I would like to formally apologize. That is my bad. I did not mean it. Because now I'm the one standing at the checkout line, staring at the screen, praying the cashier doesn't say, your total is $250. Because at that point, I'm already doing the math in my head like, okay, maybe if I put the grapes back, I can actually afford gas this week.
Americans are buying less groceries. Grocery product purchases were flat in 2025, then declined about 2% year over year in most months since February of 2026. That's according to a report by Nielsen IQ and Bain & Company that was shared exclusively with CNBC. This is surprising because rarely does the grocery market see full decline across the entire sector. Consumers are facing higher grocery prices and SNAP benefit changes, as well as other inflationary pressures, which is impacting the grocery industry.
Then when you get home, when you're putting everything away, you open the pantry, look inside, and immediately think, what the heck did I even buy? Like seriously, where did the money go? I swear, I leave the grocery store with 6 bags, 3 meals, and somehow I'm out of food by Thursday. I might be a big back and that's why. But I can't be the only one that thinks this.
Yeah, you big as hell and that's okay. It mostly comes down to portioning, knowing how to cook, and your circumstances, really. And a lot of people don't have the greatest circumstances as of right now. I can tell. That's understandable, but like, yeah, these grocery prices are also just fucking crazy. So, yeah, I don't know.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, grocery prices have increased roughly 30% since 2019, and it's increasingly getting worse every day. Just think about that. Something that the cost of like $100 before the pandemic now costs around $130. And
Damn.
Unfortunately, most people's paychecks didn't magically increase by 30% either. Food prices went through one of the fastest increases in America that it's ever seen in decades. In 2022 alone, food at home prices increased about 11%, which was the largest yearly jump since the early 1980s. Prices didn't go back down, and I'm afraid they probably won't. The damage is already done. A lot of people aren't just annoyed by grocery prices, they are actually struggling. According to Feeding America, tens of millions of Americans relied on food banks and food assistance programs each year. And for some weird reason, there's a weird stigma around asking for help. People act like needing assistance means someone is irresponsible. That is just
Well,
not.
that's mostly just mainly one crowd. And we know which crowd that is. It's a crowd that typically wants to make America as good as it used to be. Right?
Not reality. Sometimes life does happen. Your grocery budget is whatever money is left over after everything gets paid. That doesn't mean that someone is bad with money. I mean, I know people are bad with money. One of the biggest complaints people have today is eating healthy feels expensive. It feels like a luxury. And honestly, you're not wrong. Research from the USDA has shown that healthier diets often cost more per calorie compared to highly processed foods. You walk through the produce section thinking, wow, these strawberries look amazing. Well, not $5 amazing. They have that white little fluffiness on it. And suddenly frozen pizzas start looking like the move every night. Because cheapest and easiest options are often the foods that are the most processed. Grocery stores are designed to make more convenience food the easiest option, and well, it's literally just cheaper to make. And before someone jumps in the comments saying, just budget better, trust me, most people already are. Meal prepping, you name it, I do that. So the question is, why are groceries getting so expensive? And how did we get to a point where buying basic food feels like a luxury decision? Chapter 2. Why food became so expensive. So we went from, I'm grabbing a few things from the grocery store to, alright, I guess I need to take out a small loan for some chicken, eggs, and cereal. Like 20 bucks is 20 bucks, but 20 bucks then and 20 bucks now are just not even in the same atmosphere. It makes me genuinely upset because food isn't something people can just stop buying. If you want to keep existing, you have to eat food. And the issues are literally the supply chains. I would say a lot of people look over about how much has to happen for the food to reach your kitchen. A chicken breast isn't just magically sitting on a shelf waiting for you. There are farmers, processing plants, truck drivers, warehouses, you name it, all the above. And if one part of that chain gets disrupted, everyone feels it. I mean, shipping became more expensive, workers are even harder to find, ingredients and materials, literally just like building a car at this point. If your part supplier randomly disappears, you can't finish the build, you can't meet the demand, and eventually prices do go up. And even the cost of fuel has been affecting that really bad. And not just even transporting it, but for farmers and tractors, and even electricity, warehouses that store the food. So just think about it, that $5 gallon of milk might not just be paying for the milk at this point. You are paying for everything it took for that milk to get there. And one of the best example, I think this was a couple of years ago, I mean eggs, right? You saw the shortage of eggs. I simply just stopped buying them for the time being. I could just not justify buying eggs anymore at that price. Also, drop a like if you're enjoying yourself and help us grow this channel. Chapter 3. Why junk food is somehow cheaper. To piggyback off the last chapter, here's one thing that canoodles my dolphin. Because after looking at grocery prices, I noticed something. Why is it that I can walk into a store and buy a giant bag of cookies for less money than a container of fresh strawberries? Seriously? Explain that to me. A bag of chips considered...
Well, that's obvious. They want you to be fat, useless, and stupid. That's what they want. So they're gonna make the fucking good shit that's actually gonna nourish your body, that's actually gonna revitalize you, cost a lot. And then they're gonna make the shit that's literal crumbs, literal doo-doo water, cost pennies.
A cabinet for 6 months is cheaper than fruit that might go bad in 5 days. Literally, how does that make any sense? Shouldn't the food that actually comes from the ground be a more affordable option? Shouldn't stuff like sugar, salt, and preservatives cost more? And somehow it literally just isn't.
You would think so.
The answer is just processing. I mean, you suddenly created something that can sit in a warehouse forever just waiting for someone to buy it, which then, it decreases all their costs. A store does not want to throw away thousands of dollars of food every week. Fresh produce has a problem. It expires, and it expires really hard. I've somewhat recently experienced a lot of my fruit growing bad, like blackberries. red raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, all the berries. Like bags of chips nowadays, those things are basically immortal. You could probably find a bag of chips from 3 years ago in someone's pantry, and it would probably still look the same and probably taste the same. And maybe
No, it's
that's
not gonna taste the same.
compliment, but it is very impressive. I mean, and also processed foods can be made in huge amount of quantities too. But over time, a cheap, convenient food environment changes how people eat. And when the cheapest calories are often the easiest calories, we start seeing the consequences. America doesn't just have a food problem, we also have a health problem. We will cover that in Chapter 7. Chapter 4, the
Holy
Budget
shit.
Grocery Survival Guide. So after realizing grocery shopping has basically turned into a luxury hobby, the question becomes, how do you actually survive? Because unless your solution is just make more money, which by the way, thanks for the incredible advice. Someone do not post that in the comments, please. I will just delete it. Most people are already trying to stretch their dollars as far as possible. So what are people going to do? Well, if you ask me, I walk in with a budget and a plan, and somehow leave with things that I really didn't need and still forgot the one thing I actually went there for. This is literally me every single time. My first weapon of choice, like I said in the budget
Aldi go
grocery,
crazy.
is probably Aldi. Aldi has become my lifeline, and I really don't know what I would do without it. It deserves a lot of credit. Like, I like to think, do I really need cereal from a company with a giant marketing budget, or am I okay eating Crunchios? Does it taste exactly the same? Probably not. But does it cost?
Sometimes it tastes better, to be quite honest with you. And most of the time, it's just placebo as to why it doesn't taste the same, because it's made in the same fucking factory. Like the store brand shit and the name brand shit, it's made in the same fucking factory. They just use marketing tactics to trick your mind into thinking it tastes different and that the name brand shit tastes better, because that's how placebo works. So knowing that to be the case, you can use that to your advantage.
Half as much, absolutely. And at this point, my wallet doesn't care about the logo. Then there's Walmart. I mean, it's fine. The place where, you know, you walk in saying, I'm only getting 3 things, and then 2 hours later, you leave with miscellaneous junk. And somehow, I still forgot the milk. I don't know how Walmart does it. It's like they have a tractor beam pulling me into every aisle. But for groceries, Walmart has become a lot of go-to for people. I mean, is it glamorous? No. Is it exciting? No. But saving money rarely is. I mean, then you have Costco, which is the ultimate test of adulthood, because nothing makes you feel older than getting excited about buying 48 rolls of toilet paper. Me as a 10-year-old would have been horrified, but adult you're thinking, look at that price per roll. And sometimes that's the move.
Yeah.
Buying things in bulk can save you money if you actually use everything. But the problem is, buying 10 pounds of chicken doesn't save you money if 7 pounds of it ends up becoming a science experiment in the back of your fridge. And like I said, another huge money saver is just generic brands in general. This one.
Well, that's because niggas need to freeze their food. This sounds like a skill issue to me. Buy in bulk, right? Buy what you're actually gonna eat in bulk, right? I didn't mean to go like that.
Because we've been trained and tricked to think that brand name is
yeah, he's talking now.
A lot of the time you're just paying for the name.
He's heating up.
Not necessarily even a better product. That $5 cereal and that $2.50 cereal might come from the very similar ingredients. Just the big difference is one box has a cartoon mascot and one doesn't. And apparently we are willing to pay extra because a tiger told us that breakfast would be more exciting. And you have frozen vegetables, which honestly deserve more respect, even though finding me eating vegetables could be more rare than getting struck by lightning. Because I mean, frozen vegetables, they have this weird reputation because people actually think they're worse than they actually are, but frozen vegetables can actually be a great option because they last longer. They provide some nutritional value to a certain extent. Frozen vegetables just will be there whenever you're ready for them.
What the fuck is she doing? But anyway, yeah, frozen vegetables are good. They're mad good. I don't know why they have stigma. That's fucking stupid. Canned vegetables, they're good too. It's just that they kind of taste like metal, so I'd rather have the frozen ones. The frozen ones are also pretty cheap.
Meal prep, like I do meal prepping sometimes I get a little lazy, but this is the sign that you're slowly becoming your parents, because one day you wake up and you suddenly start saying things like, yo, chicken's on sale this week, and you're excited about it. You start looking at prices per ounce, you compare grocery stores, you have options about freezer containers, and at some point you realize you have become the person you used to make fun of. Your parents were—
I've never made fun of my parents for doing that shit. I don't know. And I'm not saying like I was a better kid, but I kind of just saw it and was like, oh, okay, that's how you're supposed to move. I'll just do that. You know?
boring. They were just trying to save $40.
I didn't think it was boring though,
and
but now I don't.
understand. But
So I get
with
what
all
he's
these
saying.
strategies, there is
And
a
that chicken
limit.
looks delicious.
Because people are already doing everything they're supposed to do. They're shopping smarter, and yet a lot of people are still struggling. And the problem is the numbers just aren't working. And people don't like talking about it, but here's the phrase of food insecurity. They often think and imagine someone with no job, someone completely unable to work, but that's not always the reality. A lot of people are struggling with food costs. They are working, they're students, they're parents, they're people just trying to do their best, and sometimes they still need help. Chapter 5, the rise of food banks. This might put it into perspective, but when people hear the words food bank, they usually picture someone with completely fallen on hard times, with no jobs, no options, and nowhere else to run. But listen, here's the reality. A lot of them are working and trying, and I'll be honest, like I said, I'm not embarrassed to say, I've used food banks before, and I have
too. Why should you be embarrassed for using food banks? If it's free, go for it. Especially if you're someone like me who actually knows how to fucking cook. If you know how to cook, food banks are a godsend. You can make some delicious shit with food bank materials and you could sometimes get some name brand shit that you weren't going to be able to get if you didn't go to the food bank, right? So whoever demonizes food banks are probably the same people that demonize SNAP benefits. And they're fucking I almost said a word that I told myself I stopped saying. They're fucking stupid.
Bachelor's degree, and there shouldn't be shame in needing help. A lot of people hear and immediately think, well, you should just budget better, but life doesn't
And pull
always
yourself
work
up by
like
your
that.
bootstraps.
Sometimes paying rent, insurance, car repairs, bills that keep showing up, you just don't have enough money in the end. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that food insecurity only affects people who are unemployed. And right now, this is
or black.
something that is especially affecting younger generations. Food banks are literally becoming just more than a safety net. They are becoming a part of how people actually survive. And honestly, that should make us think, because food is one of the most basic things of human need. So when millions of people are having to make decisions like, do I have enough groceries for this week, or do I pay this other bill? That's a much bigger issue than just an expensive trip to Walmart. Chapter 6. Shrinkflation is driving everyone crazy. Now,
I'll summarize that because this video is already long enough. Shrinkflation is basically where you think you're getting a better deal at the dollar store. In reality, they're just making the product smaller. So you would come out better in the end buying it from a normal store. But these dollar stores use the fucking tactic of saying, oh, way cheaper price, when they literally give you like 20 less chips. So that's how shrinkflation works. Very good tactic, I know. But with all that being said, you guys let me know what you think of this in the comments below. How have you been combating this food problem of ours that we are facing in the big America, you know, the best country on the earth? And with all that being said, 1,000 thanks for watching. Have a better day than me.